Yo, right here in the small box.
I'm heating up, I'm trying to burn down Toronto. Better keep 6 feet space, this 6-side shit contagious. Money coming in, all I see is numbers, like I'm in the Matrix. We've been in the trap.
Oh boy, today is a good day. Oh, happy day. Hey, let's go ahead and get started, all right? You know what time it is. Let's go. Yo, you, right here in the small box, Welcome back to Flex Mob Reactions, only on the Flex Mob Network. I'm Flex. Welcome back to the channel. That's right, the Shadow Flexes is the Shadow Mob. Fantastic is always a good choice. Hey, right now, I don't disagree with you, all right? So, I just want to get through every single video, all the videos I can get to today. So make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. Let me know. Come on, let me know what you think about the video. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think about the reaction. Hit that notification bell so you get notified when I drop my videos and when I'm live, like right now. And, oh, buddy, let's lock in. Oh, man, I'm excited. I don't know what I'm going to get into today, but I know what kind of time we on. So,
now, when it comes to Drake, and hold up, run it back, say it with me, because the celebration hasn't ended. Now, when it comes to Drake, listen, guys, I'm still ecstatic.
Yo, Crow. Yo, I've never heard him this angry before. What? Let me hear
now,
that.
Now, when it comes to Drake, and hold up, run it back, say it with me, because the celebration hasn't ended. Now, when it comes to Drake, listen, guys, I'm still ecstatic.
Yo, I have never heard this man raise his voice a day in my life. That's gotta be the funniest shit ever.
Like, it feels like we won the championship or something right now. But if you are ready to see how after the judge told Drake to stop crying and complaining and get in the booth and rap, that, well, Drake is in absolute and sheer and utter shambles, and things have never looked worse for him, as genuinely, not even a full 24 hours after losing the lawsuit, his life is falling apart.
Jesus.
You know what to do. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe, because from the Drake stans who are still acting like they have some sort of a plan and that they are going to win this thing in the long run, to everybody else in hip-hop overall within this moment like no other in the history of the genre, everybody needs to see how the guy who has created one of the biggest messes we have ever had is moving. And with that very point, before we can get into how Drake has actually responded to the worst news that he could have gotten in terms of what he wanted for his own career at this point, what I do want to look at is, after all of the excitement yesterday of finding out that this case was dismissed, which really did just feel like the rap version of winning the championship in some extent, and honestly, just in terms of the glory and relief of it, it did feel like the best thing for hip-hop that I have seen since, like, GNX dropped or the Super Bowl halftime show. Well, with that, Drake is already in trouble, and it's not even because of what he did, but it's because of how his own label has responded to the decision to dismiss the lawsuit. In their official statement, which reads, from the outset, this suit was an affront to all artists and their creative expression and never should have seen the light of day. We're pleased with the court's dismissal and look forward to continuing our work successfully promoting Drake's music and investing in his career. And just with this, well, once again, just like Judge Vargas and pretty much everybody.
Shout out Judge Vargas. Miss Vargas, we appreciate your contribution to hip hop. You understand me?
On this case, you have to give these people
who are
not inherently within hip-hop culture and who are not a part of rap music a lot of credit, because really, to just actually understand and grasp the basic conventions of the culture, and then how the expression in rapbeef actually works, more than somebody who said they studied rap battles for a living did in Drake. But more with this statement, when you just see what UMG is saying, what really has me interested here, and this is very big when we talk about what the reaction and how the label would move forward with Drake after this would be, is this whole section where, after talking about how, of course, they are happy for what this means for their artist, because this is something that they can understand from even the most basic levels, When they say they look forward to continuing their work with successfully promoting Drake's music and investing in his career, pull the contract because we gotta see the splits, Cupcake, because seriously, when you just see everything that this guy has done, including the personal subliminal messages at the head of the label and his family, and you see them say this, you really do just wonder what type of deal Drake is really on and how bad it is. But at the very least, when we see this, for all of the people who were saying that Drake was gonna go independent and that this was gonna be this big move where he was gonna be...
I remember that conversation. He's gonna go independent. He's gonna start doing his own thing and make his bands his own way. He's doing this for all the other artists out there that want to be indie artists, even though being an indie artist doesn't mean you follow another artist's footsteps. Being an indie artist means that you got to be your own person, your own brand, your own marketing team, your own everything. If you want to promote yourself, even PR, you got to do all that to promote yourself to be an independent artist. But nah, you're going to sit there and wait for this lawsuit to go through so you're going to be an independent artist. Shut up!
Able to break from the industry's control. That's the furthest thing from what's happening here. And really what it looks like now is that Drake has lost all of his leverage and that he is going to be doing whatever his bosses tell them to, because at the end of the day,
get back to work!
That is the situation that he is in. And so seriously, from that, and with the entire theme and ethos around Drake's career at this point in terms of his music and artistic direction with the whole Iceman stuff, well,
I don't like it when it comes to here, specifically in Canada, that I would literally have to dumb down my intelligence to agree with somebody that doesn't even have the intelligence to survive in this situation. Why do I have to do that? So that this person can feel better. Oh, I got more people on my side. Meanwhile, everybody on your side is looking at you like, nigga, what are you doing? Why would I want to do that to myself? That's my question. That's what I don't get. You want me to literally act like an idiot as if I don't know anything to please your ego? Yo, bro, let me tell you this right now. If you don't got brain cells up in here, I'm going to keep it tall with you. Read a book! Read a book! Straight!
Being an extension of all of the garbage we saw here, just with everything we saw with the Pinocchio stuff. And for Drake to pretty much build an entire album around Kendrick Lamar and how he feels the label treated him, and for him to just have all of it fail, but then at the same time, the employer who he went against is telling him, we'll see you on Monday and get ready to work. Really, for Drake, and this is the genuinely crazy part about all of this to me, this guy is just trapped within this situation, and I really don't know what he is going to do from here, because he's clearly not happy about it. But again, this is the result of all of the choices he has made and constant poor decision after poor decision. And speaking of poor decisions, when I talked about how now that Drake has failed this bad, you know he is gonna pull something out even pettier to just try and take everything even more than he already has down with him? Well, we have found out a portion of what that plan is gonna be, as after the judge told Drake that everything he is doing is genuinely ridiculous and embarrassing, and you can't all of a sudden flip the rules of a rap beef as something that is not a performative thing that people understand is stretching the truth as opposed to pure fact, which is what he was trying to push. The Cupcake and his Cupcake team are really about to lose every single thing that they possibly have over this. As after UMG released their statement and after they told this entire situation to just get on out of here because it's a crock of garbage, Team Drake came out and released this official statement, which of course this is representing the Cupcake. We intend to appeal today's ruling, and we look forward to the Court of Appeals reviewing it. And now with this, I mean, we really are at a point where it just seems like Drake is creating a forever loop of just crying and crashing out over all of his choices failing, and then the failures of those failures failing even more. And now he is trying to get those failures to be validated because they failed. Does that make sense? Because that's really where we are at. And honestly, if it didn't, that's the exact point I was going for, because that is what Drake is pretty much trying to do here. as again, he can't just accept the reality, because to be honest, as already suing over a rap battle was already a way.
See, that's why I don't understand. What I don't get is, how is it that you're suing over a rap battle? It's entertainment, it's performative. Nothing in it is like what they say, non-actionable. All of that is for the sake of the performance. That's what you're doing. You're entertaining the crowd at the highest form. That's the point of a rap beef, rap battles. However you want to word it, it's the same all across the board. You're the same individual that said you study rap battles for a living. So how do you not understand that this is like literally something that is just there? It's a tool that's there. As long as you have the talent and capabilities to stay in the competition, it's simply just there to better your career. You're showing off your literal skill. It's like being in a coliseum, like you have two warriors going up against each other. Each side has their own fan base cheering for them. And you guys are going up against each other. And it's war. It's a battle. And you saying you study rap battles for a living, you don't understand that or comprehend that. So what book did you study from? That's what I want to know. What book did you study from? Because as far as I see it, you only picked up the book called, Rap Battles 101 or Rap Battles for Dummies. Because that's all I see. Don't come here with no paperwork talking about, some rah-rah shit. Dog, it's a battle, fam. Move as such. Why didn't you try harder? I remember that day when I first sat there and I was in the car with my dog. We're listening to push-ups. I'm like, do you know who Kendrick Lamar is? Because you clearly don't know who your opponent is. You didn't study your opponent. But yet, your opponent studied you. You dropped Tailor Made. Did nothing. Oh, you can rap about me liking little girls. Nigga, we've been known that shit. People around here been known that. You try to jump in front of it as if you're Eminem from 8 Mile. That's not how that works. This is not Meek Mill. This is not Pusha T. This is not Common. This is Kendrick Lamar. You don't play with him. Are you serious? There's a reason why some of his rap songs got 1 billion streams on it. People like his shit worldwide. And you didn't even stop to think, maybe I should go a little bit harder. You relied on one song. Meanwhile, your opponent relied on every single song to strike you down. But I study rap battles for a living. Shut up.
To try and get a consolation prize or to almost go to some sort of a metaphorical court of appeals for just the entire situation and how it turned out. Doing this is now just the literal extension of the delusion we saw by filing this in the first place, and ultimately is just showing that you are never going to accept any single person's opinion unless they are trying to tell you that you are right, you can do no wrong, Kendrick Lamar is the worst. And you know what, Drake, you actually failed because everybody was against you. But no, that's just not what happened, and no matter how many things you carry out on, that is not going to change a single thing at this point. But really to just see that Drake and his team are doing this, I can't wait to see how they get laughed out of the room next time, because already, with the judge really getting into hip-hop culture and understanding just how the exchange of free expression and ideas work, and clearly getting it better than Drake, as you can see the transcript, she started to laugh at how ridiculous what Drake was trying to push was based on the double standard that he set. Well, overall, we are...
Yo, Jordan, what's good, bro? What's good? Hey, I'm telling you, you can't say that and not show it. You're all words. You're all words with no action. That's literally what that battle showed. In a battle for career against career, you're all words with no action. Come on, bruh. Keep it tall. Be honest. Stop lying to yourselves. And I'm speaking about people here. Stop lying to yourselves, bruh. Y'all look weird being like that. Out here moving like groupies. Are you a groupie or are you a fan of the art form? Plain and simple. What is going on?
We're at a point where this is just so ridiculous and it's so baffling that you could even be this low of a person, that this is somehow the direction that you have taken every single thing in. And I mean, I guess you could say from the perspective of the team that Drake put together to try and actually handle this case, you know it's the Drewski meme. They're trying to do what they have to do to say they've done everything to help him, but they really know there's no other options. And I guess from that perspective,
smell somebody
if you look at
lying
it like that, they are just doing this as a simple formality or to try to stand their ground. But I really just do think, as this is such a basic issue that every single person besides Drake fans and Drake have been able to comprehend and just see the blatant hypocrisy of, nobody's going to push this thing any further, because if they did, it would seriously get into some messy territory, which was why we were worried about it for the first place. Because beyond even rap music, this affects all of just speech and art and media as a whole. And so for Drake, what the clear thing that he is showing is going to be the status quo just forever at this point is that he is going to keep Karening till he can't Karen anymore, because just to see this pattern of viciously not ever taking any sort of accountability or even just accepting the results of what the world is showing you and always thinking that somebody's against you and that there's this bigger thing to ruin your career and that everything is just not working, so you keep having to get approval from other things that then don't work, and then you just repeat the cycle over and over again. I mean, this has just gotta stop sometime, right? And I thought maybe it would now that we have reached a point where at least the suit has been dismissed to what we can see now, but really for Drake, and based on how petty he has been and how far he has dragged this thing already, I still do think that there is a lot more to see here. But now beyond the back and forth between Drake's team and UMG and what they're trying to do to continue the worst thing that we have ever seen to hip-hop to just continue to happen despite everybody laughing at it and telling him it's trash. Well, in the midst of all of that, we have actually heard from the Cupcake himself. And again, in a way that is very official, has directly from Drake, after maybe the worst thing in his entire career in terms of what he wanted to get out of this and how high he made the stakes because of his own failure. Well, after all of that and finding out something that has left him in a place where pretty much all of his options are gone now, as again, Drake's rap career, that's been over. His legacy and respect in hip-hop, that's gone. And now in terms of the industry and the rooms where he was trying to Karen out to them over this case, well, they have laughed him out of there as well, and they told him that he has nothing to stand on and that this thing is ridiculous. And now in the midst of all of that and finding this massive news out, Drake has spoken up, but in a way that's very different at that, as he's not being directly loud and obnoxious.
But, okay, because all this time wasted, how many months? Like, what, 8-9 months or something like that? All of this time to do what? What was you gonna do? Everybody on YouTube was analyzing this. Everybody a part of the hip-hop space on YouTube, we were all analyzing this, trying to figure out, trying to see where this is gonna go. Where is this going to, where can it go? The ups and downs, pros and cons. If he wins, what happens? If he loses, what happens? We explored it all, literally. Now, knowing me, one thing I always say that I learned from Kobe is that, yo, and I'm talking Kobe Bryant, like, yo, it's not over till it's over. Job's not done. I had to make sure and sit here and wait until this is finished before I can speak freely. Because when it comes to things like this, you never know where it can go. It can go left or it can go right. I had to make sure that I stand on 10 toes on my square. I know what I believe in. I know what's right. I know which way it's supposed to go, but I had to make sure I stay stern and not lean. Because any chance I get too comfortable, things always goes the wrong way. That's one thing I learned. I stood here and I said, listen, I know exactly how this is supposed to go, but I don't know how the outcome is going to look. Now that I see the outcome, for me to stand on my square and what I believed in, cautiously, that makes me happy. That makes me really happy knowing that something that I truly believed in turned out to come out in like the right way and not the wrong way. I assessed everything. I paid attention. Me, being somebody that graduated from marketing, I pay attention to that. Marketing wise, if this goes his way, what's going to happen? It's actually going to crumble the industry if it was going to go that way. Because if that was to happen, everything else is going to fall apart. I know that for a fact. Everything would change, yes, but not for the better. It would change for the worse. I know that for a fact, for sure. What's good, New Beginnings? How you doing? It's just, I'm just happy. I'm literally just happy. Everything that I spoke about, everything that I mentioned, everything that I talk about here, especially in terms when it comes to this lawsuit, I'm happy to know that I'm on the right side and not the wrong side. You know? That's all I'm happy about. For real.
And trying to brag or bait people into believing that he has more going on or has this bigger plan than he ever actually does, but in a way that I think is very telling of where he is at right now and where he feels, which honestly is just absolute disappointment. And again, for Drake, I said this yesterday when this all happened, and I'm sure he is thinking about this, and I'm sure he thinks about this more and more as this is all going down. And was it worth losing everything to try and get across whatever you were trying to get across to try and rewrite the fact that you lost a beef? And so with this, what Drake did is what Drake does, which is some of the most shameful and embarrassing things you ever could, which still both...
I will not be surprised at all if Not Like Us goes #1 again. I will not be surprised at all. This whole lawsuit was for nothing. You thought that everything that you stated in your in the lawsuit, talking how, oh, there's payola involved, oh, there's this involved, oh, there's that involved. Bro, you're literally seeing it from how you were built. Everything that you were mentioning are the same things they did for you. That's the only reason why you have that idea. And you sat there and think that's the same for Kendrick. If you just paid attention to Kendrick's timeline, for every time he went viral for something, the world stopped. Naturally, mind you. Everything that Kendrick has been doing up until now, every time he drops, every time there's a performance, every time there's a music video, every time there's an album, the world stops. The world stops. There's a strong difference and there's a strong divide between quantity and quality. With quantity, sure, you're going to get into the position that you put yourself in, regardless if you got help from UMG or not. But from the quality, if you know how to push quality, if you know how to utilize marketing skills, PR skills, understanding the business behind the scenes, understanding how to utilize an aesthetic, how to understand how to take control of the consumer base with your music, regardless if they like you or not, which is exactly what Kendrick Lamar did. That's the result you're going to get. Quality is always going to be superior over quantity, without a doubt. Nobody can tell me otherwise. So looking at Kendrick Lamar's career when he has nothing but quality all over the board, it makes sense for him to go down that path that he went. All those breaks that he took only to come back and have a wider audience. Every time he left and came back, it was a wider audience. Are you serious? The man said he was done with TDE. He had his run. It was finished. Everybody thought he retired. Come back now. Look what happened. Like that. The world stopped. The world stopped when he was on Like That. And then when he was talking his ish, it was over from the beginning. That's from beginning to end, over with Like That. Straight.
comes from not addressing these situations that you put yourself in face on. And then also, and even more baffling, just acting like everything is okay when really deep down inside, Cupcake, we know who you are. We know what you have put on display, and we know how low you have gotten. We know you are losing it over this. And so to come out after all of this and post some happy birthdays, which, you know, you're trying to shout out OVO and act like everybody's together and everything's all good, and even with the first one, you can see that there still is some sneak diss in here. As you can clearly see, Drake has a statue of Tupac wherever. And even with the first one, you can see that there still is some sneak diss in here. As you can clearly see, Drake has a statue of Tupac wherever this is, which it does seem to be somewhere that's important to him. As
you gotta be kidding me. At this point, if you can't learn your lesson, you gotta take a break. If you can't learn your lesson and stop doing what you're doing, you got to take a break, because at this point, you look so childish. You look so childish, bruh. From the mirror pics to the selfies to the taunting. You're trying to taunt somebody through their phone. You're trying to taunt somebody through their phone as if you're talking to Soulja Boy. This kind of tactic gonna work on Soulja Boy. Understand that. This don't work on Kendrick. In fact, you're pissing off more people, including your own fans, by continuing to go down this route. You are literally trying to self-destruct. You don't want your, at this point, you don't want your career. That's literally what this looks like. It looks like you don't want your career anymore. You don't want to be in this kind of career no more. It doesn't work for you. It looks like you want to go back to acting. Because why do you continue to do this as if this is affecting anybody, any of your opponents? This doesn't affect your opponent. Your opponent didn't even say anything and still hasn't said anything this whole time. Kendrick ain't say shit this whole time, bruh. Bro, wake up. Look at yourself. Look in the mirror that you like to take selfies in. Bro, you look weird. You look weird. Everything around you looks peculiar. And you still continue to do this. Are you serious? Are you serious right now? This is beyond childish, man. Like, you just don't want to learn. You just don't want to listen. Why? What's the goal? What's the end goal? You look like a child. That's what you look like. This is childish antics. Get away from the people that you keep around you. It's not helping anybody. You need to be around some grown individuals. It's getting ridiculous.
This is a picture of him and one of his good buddies. Well, overall, with that, I guess that is the response that Drake is giving, which all does come down to that Tupac statue, which...
That's what I'm saying, Raven. He's trying to piss Kendrick and it went... It's not working, Jordan.
However you want to put it. After all of this happened and everybody's talking about Kendrick Lamar and everybody's celebrating for hip-hop,
Kendrick don't
well,
need
for you to put up this picture where Tupac is in the back, we can all see the play here and we can all just look and really understand what you're trying to do to just once again, still, when you think about it, subliminally send some sort of a message that either you have a plan or that you're still just dragging this thing out and trying to annoy Kendrick and any of the hip-hop purists by acting like you are Supac Cupcake Shakorny Jones.
Damn.
That you have all of these items that represent and define hip-hop history and that you hang them up like trophies in your places. And just off that point, if this is really the last resort of what you think you can do to try to send any sort of a message to anybody, well, I guess I get it from how bad of a place everything has looked and with how bad of a tactician that you have shown you are. But honestly, at at this point, as we are just seeing more and more turn out bad for you because of your own choices and because of how much of a crash out that you are, Cupcake, all of this stuff just holds little to no impact. And you know when Pusha T was doing interviews after he dropped So Be It, and he was talking about his beef with Travis Scott, and he said despite whatever issues he has with Travis, he was saying how at the end of the day, it's Travis Scott, he's harmless, he can't do anything as an MC. At this point, you could have anything from Tupac or any other all-time rap legend at this point, but is it really gonna matter? Because at the end of the day, you're Drake, and you're the Cupcake Karen Lawbry ballerina, and well, the only thing you study for a living is crashing out and humiliating yourself, so you're not gonna be able to do anything with this, and honestly, again, we know that no matter what gear you can get, and no matter what you can show off and try to act like you won or like it's yours, it's not gonna equate to anything other than just disappointment and disdain for your entire career more and more as a whole. So really with these things and with Drake trying to show off the Tupac statue to have some sort of a gotcha moment, the ship has sailed for that, and it's not getting the reaction it once did because we've all seen the trick and we've all seen the grift, and nobody wants to play into it anymore because they know the way everything ends when your name is Cupcake Drake. And really with this, even for OVO at this point, which I think they are going to need their own full piece to really just explore and talk about how they are taking this, because that's a whole mess in of itself. I do think deep down inside for Drake, everybody, no matter what side you're on right now, is just realizing what Drake really is, which is something that he tried to call Kendrick, I remember, when he made a post and tried to act like he was this bigger and better artist, which was that whole thing when he called Kendrick a one-trick pony and act.
All right, that's enough. I don't honestly, at this point in the video, I'm good. There should be no more news. It's a lot of fluff that's going on right now, but yo, I gotta give my respects to Fantastic Hip Hop. Another Canadian for sure. Same with Rapaholics. Another Canadian. You know? Respect to both those guys for sure. This lesson is going to go down in history. If you are given the opportunity to finally defeat somebody that you think deserves to be taken down, you got to think of anything and everything you need to do to get the job done. Because for you to throw out some Lucy's, because that's how I see push-ups and tailor-made, Lucy's. To throw out two Lucy's to taunt your opponent, and then you're going to rely on one song, Family Matters, to get the job done as if this is what's going to end the war. You fail to understand that every single song that you drop within a rap beef needs to be on that level of Family Matters. You fail to understand that. There are no bars in push-ups. There's no takeaways. The only takeaway in push-ups was when you told Metro to shut his whole ass up and make some drums. That's it. Size 7 men's shoes, that means nothing to me. You're going to call the man a pipsqueak. You're going to call the man a pipsqueak. What does that do for me? What does that do for me? Is this recess? Are we at recess right now calling a next man a pipsqueak at your grown age? Oh, you're pushing 40 and you're calling another man pushing 40 a pipsqueak and making fun of his shoe size. And you think that's going to get the job done. Kendrick Lamar said, when I see you stand by Sexy Red, I believe you see two bad bitches. I believe you don't like women. This real competition you might pop ass with. And you said, pipsqueak, pipe down. When I first heard push-ups, I said, they're going to send nuclear missiles over the border. Fight back. It's not enough. And look what happened. They did not only send nuclear missiles, they sent bio-missiles over the border and bombed here with words. You went up against somebody that won an award for using words correctly in a sentence. Just think about that. You know what? Next video. I don't want to stay on this video for too long. Next video. Enough of this. Enough of this. But I want to do this one time. Hold on. That's all I gotta say, man. That's all I gotta say. This is ridiculous.
I don't live in present tense, so just soul for a Daytona. Girl, my life been like a kid drama. Walking to.
Bye. Have a beautiful time.